Am I audible and visible to all of you? Awesome. So let's begin today's session. Sit wherever you are comfortably. Keep the back and neck straight. And very gently close your eyes. And begin to observe the natural process of the body, the breathing process. Don't change the breath. Just observe the breath as it is. Bring the attention to the body. Just make sure that your body is correctly aligned. The body is comfortable and stable. And slowly begin to deepen your breathing. Slow, long, and deep inhalations. Slow, long, and deep exhalations. Relax your mind and prepare yourselves for chanting Om. We'll be chanting Om 3 times, followed by 3 Shantis. Exhale out all the air from the body. And inhale deeply for Om. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Just feel the vibrations. Join the palms together and rub the palms together. Keep them on the eyes. Very slowly, while blinking and looking at your palms, begin to open up your eyes. Start coming back with a smile. And namaste to everyone. Let us begin today's session. So today we are going to, finally, we have come down to the main technique that we have to learn, which is your nadhishodhana, right? And this technique that I will be teaching you today, this is mentioned in the text 𝐻𝐻𝐻 Pradipika. 𝐻𝐻𝐴-𝐻𝐴-YOGA-P-R-A-D-I-P-I-K-A. So this technique is mentioned in 𝐻𝐻𝐻 Pradipika, right? Okay. So again, sitting posture is important, right? When we are doing this practice. So always you have to be in a sitting posture, right? And I'll just tell you the technique and then I'll demonstrate it once and then I will explain one very specific thing is new in this. So why is that added? Okay. So the technique is the same as we did yesterday. So Anulom Vilom technique only, but we are adding internal retention. So now we are going to hold our breathing. Okay. So breath holding. I will discuss this thing more in depth after I tell you about the practice. But again, you don't have to force the holding. Okay. So slowly you get used to the holding also. Right. So basically, like we practiced yesterday, we're going to exhale fully, right? And then we will close the right nostril and inhale through the left nostril. Okay, so I'll try it also as I explain it. So this first thing is you inhale and that is through the left side, right? Then after you inhale fully, then you retain. Now you are retaining. And what kind of retaining is this? It is internal retention. So what you actually do is now you close both the nostrils. Okay. So earlier you were doing this switch, but now you will close both the nostrils and hold. Just this. Okay. In the beginning, this is good enough. Right. And then third thing that we do is we exhale and that happens through the right nostril. Okay. So I have fully exhaled from the right side. Then again you begin to inhale from the right side. Okay. Then after you have inhaled, again we are going to retain. Right. So this retention is also internal because you are doing it after inhalation. And last step is the exhalation, which is from the left side. So Anulom Vilom nadhishodhana, they always begin from the left side, and because the cycle is such, they always end also from the left side only, right? So there is no like it will end from the other side, beginning from the left side and ending from the left side. This is a key characteristic of nadhishodhana practice. So yesterday we did 4 steps. Now we are going to 6 steps, right? Only 2 extra things are added in between, right? So now this retention, as I told you, it's called kumbhak. Right? So we are only going to talk more about the internal retention because that is the one we are practicing. So 2 types of retentions are there. One is when you inhale and you hold the breathing, and second one is after you exhale, you again hold hold the breath before you again go into the process of breathing in again, right? So external retention is very advanced practice, so we will not be doing it. But internal retention we are practicing today, so you guys need to understand um, the retention portion, right? So first thing is retention should never be forced, okay? And it should never be out of your capacity, right? So sometimes, we are just excessively holding the breath inside and they just say, right now, 5 counts are not completed. I just have to hold the breathing. So no, you work on the retention so much, right, that it reaches that amount of time. Okay. So in these classes, even though you will get a glimpse, this will only come with personal practice, that you will not have to force this retention, because the quality of the retention is not forcing it. Okay, so sometimes you think we have to force ourselves, but no. When you go to swim also, so you are initially you become very breathless when you go to swim, right? But as you practice for a few days and swim for a few days, you will see naturally now when you complete one lap, you are able to have that kind of breathing, right? Where your body gets used to that, like in between you will not uh, get a chance to catch that breathing, right? So this happens with time only. It has to be a very natural transition. Just because I'm saying there is holding doesn't mean there is a force, right? um okay. Okay. uh Pranav mudra is when you fold the first two fingers and you form this is pranav. Okay, this one. And nasagra mudra is when you place the first two fingers in between your uh, both in the space between both your eyebrows, and then you basically do this. So main thing that you have to notice is that these two fingers are not utilized. Either they are brought down or they are placed over here. The utilization is of 1, 2 and 3. These three fingers is there, right? So this is the difference between them. Okay. Okay. So Kumbh, coming back to Kumbh, right? So why do we do internal retention, or whenever we do pranayam, retention is always talked about, right? And actually the main practices include the retention only. Pranayam is only complete when you do the retention, right? But beginning level, you do not do the retention because it gets forced, or your system gets, you need to give your system the time to acclimatize to the retention also. Because why is this? Why do you have to give it time? Because when you inhale and you hold in the breath, what is happening? The carbon dioxide that was supposed to move out of the body, now it is held inside, right? So the concentration of the carbon dioxide in your body increases, right? And that is something you cannot force, right? If you increase that very quickly, if you say in the first holding only you are holding for say 10 seconds, right? So this thing will only give your system a shock, right? Immediate shock, because the system is not used to having the concentration, this much concentration of carbon dioxide in the body for this long a period. Right now when I'm inhaling and exhaling, immediately the carbon dioxide is moving out of the body, right? But when you retain, then the carbon dioxide is inside the body, right? The concentration of carbon dioxide increases in the body when there is retention, during the time of retention, right? So the retention should be such that it supports the exhalation process, right? And what kind of exhalation process? Twice the time you have taken to inhale. So when you look at the ratios of doing the pranayam practices and the pre-practices also, especially in nadhishodhana, you will see there are different ratios. So for us, 1:1:1 is good, right? If you're taking 5 seconds to inhale, then hold for 5 seconds and then take 5 seconds to exhale the breath. But eventually, because the concentration of the carbon dioxide increases in the body, you take more time to exhale out that carbon dioxide. That is why exhalation is given more time. twice the time. When we are going for any practice, if you see the ideal ratios for pranayam practices, always inhalation is 1 and exhalation part is written 2, right? So why this 2? Because you have held the carbon dioxide inside the body, right? For that, the concentration has increased. So now you need more time to exhale out that. And if you immediately go into exhalation, again the toxins will not be released properly, right? That is why I asked you in the beginning also, begin to equalize the inhalation and exhalation. Because when the exhalation is smaller, then the toxins are also not released from the body properly. So all of this has proper basis, basically why you have to do these things. They have proper reasoning behind them. Okay, so that is why always at least keep inhalation and exhalation equal. Okay, and in this case, when you advance, so today we are only going to do 1:1:1. 5 seconds for inhaling, 5 seconds for holding, 5 seconds for exhale. But as you increase the practice, then you can change the ratios also, right? But exhalation is generally longer than the inhalation always. Always try to keep this, right? Uh, Another very important reason why we do the retention is because the exchange of gases, they get time. Okay, when I inhale and I hold the breath, right? So as soon as I hold the breath, so the exchange that is taking place, I have like I am directly not going into exhalation, right? So I'm giving that pause where the final portion, where the lung, where there is exchange of gas in the lungs, right? Alveoli. It's called alveoli. So you cover that in your anatomy classes also. So that you can consider it to be like a very little balloon, right? And around that balloon there are blood vessels, right? Capillaries, right? So when you hold the breath, the exchange over here, it takes place through osmosis. Osmosis is a process where if you know there is more quantity of one thing in one place and less quantity of one thing in that same thing in the other place, then by default of this difference, an exchange takes place, right? Because suppose carbon dioxide is more in the blood vessel, right? And over here, carbon dioxide is less, where when you inhale in the lung portion. So because of this difference and difference in the carbon dioxide by default would shift into the lung, and the oxygen will by default go to the other side. That is how the exchange is taking place, right? So when this process takes place, so this process is getting more time. As soon as I hold the breathing, this exchange, for this exchange to happen, there is more time, right? So now switching is happening properly. So carbon dioxide is properly coming back, right, to be exhaled out. And oxygen is properly going into the blood, right? Because you put a pause in between and you gave time for that process to happen, right? So one thing is this, exchange happens much better when you begin the practice of retention. And second thing, because you are retaining, then when the oxygen moves into the blood, it reaches each and every cell properly, right? So it's reaching little portions also. So actually with age, what starts happening is the oxygen doesn't reach the body parts properly. It doesn't reach each and every cell. That is why we begin to age, right? That is why you will see pranayam practitioners, they look very young, right? Why? Because they are giving this process time for the oxygen to reach each and every cell of the body. They are putting this pause in between where one thing, exchange is taking place properly, and second thing, the oxygen is reaching each and every part properly, right? So this is why Kumbhak is very important. These one or two reasonings, if you know, it is enough to begin with, right? Because any which way, right now we'll have to prepare ourselves for the retention, right? So right now it will be tough for you to retain. It will require some effort. But retention also has to be taken to a point where it becomes effortless. Okay. So like you work with the breathing, you gain more control. So same thing when you start retaining, in the beginning you will be like, immediately you will be like, I cannot hold. But eventually that thing will also develop, right? And you have to take care of this thing. So generally people are able to retain, right? But then they exhale very quickly, right? This has to be avoided. Okay, so gain more and more control before you start introducing the practice of retention, because retention will have no like uh, will not give you the benefit it can if you exhale out immediately, right? Because there is more oxygen in the body, so toxins are not released properly if you exhale quickly, right? So you have to gain control over the breathing in order to just reach this stage also, right? Now, before you guys ask any questions and before I ask you to ask questions, one thing is to be understood, right? Now, I'm saying don't force the kumbha, right? But there is a particular point till which you can experiment, and after that point, you shouldn't, right? So you need to know that line also, right? So when you start retaining your breath, you will have a first, you will have the first urge to breathe out, right? So you can control that, right? Till then, it is voluntarily under your control, right? That is okay. First urge you can avoid, okay? Then you get a second urge. So now second time when you have been holding on to something, second time when that urge will come, it will be stronger than the first time. Then you will feel as if you are voluntarily holding the breath, but it becomes a little bit involuntary also. Your urge to exhale becomes a little bit involuntary. You're just like, now let me just exhale, right? This point also, it is okay. You can hold the breath. Two times you can, when your body shouts, you can say no. Okay. But third time, the urge will be very intense. And at that point of time, if you don't exhale, you might end up harming yourself. Okay. So two urges you can avoid. But third one, you should never avoid. Third time, it doesn't matter what kind of time you are. Your practice will not be determined by how much time you are able to give to the whole day, right? You cannot go against your body when it comes to retention. So you have to be very, very careful. Third urge you should never ignore. When you get that third time, calling from your body, go into exhalation process. Okay. This I'm telling you why, because sometimes, our ego, it comes in and it's just like, I can do it. I don't know if anybody else can, but I can do it. And we ignore our body and we hurt our body in this way, right? Nobody else will get hurt, but we will only get hurt. Okay. So in texts also it is written up till two urges of exhalation you can control, but third one should never be, right? And that is what you guys have to take care of. That you can get out of your comfort zone, but don't cross the line. Okay. Any doubts in anything? No? Yeah.
You mentioned two mudras. Can I have the names, please? I couldn't hear you that time.
So I'll write it down also. You can check the chat box.
Okay. I had a question, another question. You mentioned Pranav Mudra, right? Ji, the same mudra is, it is mentioned as Vishnu Mudra in the course, online course syllabus. Are they same?
Are you talking about the pre-recorded videos?
Ji.
Acha, ha. So this thing will happen. Okay. So mudras, they are totally different science. And in pranayam class also we will talk about mudras, but in the end. Okay. Mudras are a very different branch of yoga, right? So you will find this in asana also. So some places, you will find the name of the asana is same, but the posture is different.
Okay.
Right? I cannot think of an example. I did have an example. So same name is given to the posture, but according to, sorry?
Mountain pose. This could be where you stand, hand by your side, or could be the similar to downward dog.
Yes, so like mountain pose, like she mentioned. Yeah. One thing is just standing straight, the position is same. And then second one is the downward facing dog position where you form this V of the body, right? So in yoga, you will find these variations. Why? Because a lot of people came in, they experimented with the traditional ways, and then they changed the ways and introduced new practices altogether. So same goes for mudras, right? You will find the same name and you will find they are done differently, right? So exactly this has happened, right? So in the recorded videos, Pranav Mudra is taught from maybe some other perspective, right? And I'm teaching from a different perspective, right? So same name, different mudras, right? When I teach mudras, I will tell you more about like what is happening and why you are connecting certain points. So that is actually the main thing to understand in mudras. Why you are connecting something and what that connection is doing to your body, right? That matters. Name, bhul jao, forget it. Right? Yeah. Any doubts from what we are going to do today? So I'll just demonstrate it one time. Okay. So you're going to exhale fully, right? Then you will inhale, left inhalation. Retention. So close both the nostrils at this point of time. And then exhale. So right side exhalation, right? Then again inhale through the right. Hold. Exhale. This is one round. Okay. So all of this made one round. Okay. Try not to attach numbers when you are doing this, because when you count, you get stuck in the number, right? You will get an idea of the inhalation, retention, and exhalation being equal even if you don't count. So I will not count. Go according to your natural flow, go according to your body. All of you will practice at different paces right now, and that is all right. Like yesterday also, we were practicing at different paces. So it is totally up to you. Don't go against your body, don't go against your breath. Whatever comes smoothly to you, adopt that amount of time. Okay. And another thing you would have noticed, when I was inhaling and exhaling, there was no sound and no movement in the body, right? So these two things are also happening these days. So when people, teach this practice, they, inhale, their body goes up like this. Then they exhale, their body goes down like this. Right? So in the beginning also I told you, if your body is moving, means you are not practicing, or even for pre-practices, right? This is a pre-practice of pranayam. No? Pre-practices will also lose their essence if the body is moving. So keep the body stable, and the breath should not be forced. So there should be no sound. Naturally, when you are inhaling, that amount of inhalation is enough, right? So don't force that. Okay. So let's begin today's practice. So today we will do abdominal breathing. Okay. Yeah. Any doubts?
I was going to ask you about the abdominal breathing. If it is abdominal breathing, and you said, okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
So we will do abdominal breathing. Then we will do the, Anulom Vilom practice, right? Continuous one. And then today, the third and last one we will do is, we will add the retention. Okay. So only 3 practices we have. All right. So let's begin. Yes. So sit comfortably wherever you are. Keep your back and neck straight. And when you feel ready, gently close your eyes. Start observing your breath. Just the natural flow of the breathing as you are inhaling and as you are exhaling. Slowly shift your attention to your body. Just make sure your body is properly aligned. Your body should be comfortable and relaxed. So release any undue, unnecessary pressure from the body and just be comfortable in your posture. And try to keep the body as stable as possible throughout your practice. We will start with the practice of abdominal breathing. So if you feel the need, you can place one hand on your abdomen, or else you can just keep the hands on your knees and just keep the mind engaged with the movement of the abdomen. Exhale fully, contract the abdomen in, and as you begin to inhale, feel the tummy rising. As you exhale, allow your abdomen to go back in and exhale fully, navel reaching as close to the spine as possible. And then again go into the process of inhalation. Continue your practice. Try to deepen your practice with each and every breath. Three more breaths in the same pattern, and then you can suspend your practice and come back to the natural flow of the breathing. Just observe your natural breathing and see how it has changed. Before we begin the Anulom Vilom practice, if you feel the need, you can balance out the flow of both the nostrils. And if you feel your breath is balanced, both the nostrils are open, right? So you can just observe the breathing only for a few seconds, or else you can do the pre-practice we did in the first class, breathing in and out through one nostril and then breathing in and out through the other nostril. Just to check that both the nostrils are flowing freely. Go for 5 to 7 breaths from one nostril and then you can change. Take your own time, and once you complete this pre-practice, you can rest your hand. Just observe the breathing. Keep your back and neck straight and simply observe. If you are feeling the need to change your posture, before we begin with Anulom Vilom, you can change your posture also. We'll begin with the practice of Anulom Vilom. So adopt the hand mudra which is most comfortable for you. Exhale completely and then close the right nostril. Begin to inhale through the left side. Once you inhale, close the left nostril, exhale through the right. After exhalation, go into the process of inhaling. We're inhaling through the right nostril. And then you can close the right nostril and exhale through the left. This is one round. Continue your practice. Try to keep the inhalation and exhalation equal. Go for the continuous flow, Anulom Vilom. Just feel the difference the practice is making as you increase the number of rounds, as you continue your practice. Complete the round you're currently doing, after which you can suspend the practice and just relax your hand. Keep the back and neck straight and simply observe the change in your breathing and the state of your mind. If you're feeling the need, you can change your posture before we go into the final practice for the day. Or else you can just simply sit and observe. Let's start with the last practice. Again, adopt the mudra with the right hand, whichever one you find the most comfortable. Exhale completely. Close the right nostril and begin to inhale through the left. Once you inhale, hold the breathing. Then open the right nostril and go into exhalation. Controlled and slow exhalation. Begin to inhale once you exhale completely. After inhaling, again go into the retention. Then open the left nostril and complete the round by exhaling through the left side. This is one round. Continue your practice and make sure your inhalation, retention, and exhalation are not forced in any way. Don't cross your capacity. Just go however your body is asking you to go about the practice. Keep deepening your practice with each consecutive round. Just complete the round you're currently doing, and then you can suspend the practice. Keeping the back and neck straight. Simply observe your breathing and the state of your mind. Just see the impact of the practice. We will end today's session with one Om and three Shantis. First, take 2 or 3 deep breaths. Inhale deeply for Om. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Join the palms together. Let's just bow down, thanking everything and everyone in our life. Just a sense of gratitude. Rub the palms together. Place them on your eyes. Allow your eyes to absorb this heat. We'll do this 2 more times. Rub the palms together properly. Keep them on the eyes. Last time, rub the palms. Keep them on the eyes. Very slowly while blinking and looking at your palms, begin to open up your eyes. If you feel the need, you can spread this energy on your body. And any doubts in today's practice? Were you guys able to retain the breathing a little bit? Are you guys able to understand why nadhishodhana has those benefits that I just told you theoretically? Yes, mind is more relaxed. Okay. You guys were doing great, right? And I saw today everybody was very, very stable also. So that is very good progress. And in between practices, if you feel the need, change the posture. Okay. In meditation, you are already working on your sitting. So in pranayam, even though stability is important, but if too much pain develops, then you get completely distracted from the practice also. So just change your posture if you don't feel that stability. Catherine, you had a very intense expression. So maybe you were forcing, I felt as if you were too focused, right? So you can work on, your face should be relaxed, right? So I'm not saying it in a bad way, right? So don't take it that way. I just felt that, yes, your face can be more relaxed than what it currently was, right? Apart from that, you guys are doing great, right? Any doubts that I can clear for you?
No.
Awesome. Yeah. Yeah, this type of smile should be there on the face when you are practicing. No, yogi is always smiling, right? So you should always, I believe you should smile when you're practicing, right? Great. So let's meet tomorrow then for philosophy. Take care and bye-bye.
Bye-bye.